Upgrades. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review. Today we are reviewing the latest film brought to you from Shudder, and this one is called Elevator Game, and it's based off of the online phenomenon. A lot of you may know what it is, but that's what this film is based off of. So on that basis alone, it made it extremely intriguing to see this film. And here's a quick synopsis. A teen links the mysterious disappearance of his sister to a supernatural game that's played in the elevators and is directed by Rebekah McKendry. It stars Gino and Anania, I think I'm saying that right, and Vernice Marks. Those are the two primary characters. One is named Ryan in the movie, and one is named Chloe in the movie. It's a horror movie, so there's no need to just name all of the cast, because clearly they dispense of a lot of people in the cast because it's a horror movie. But Elevator Game from Shudder Entertainment. First thoughts is the opening of this film, as we see Ryan's sister on the elevator playing this game, and we get the gist of exactly the type of film that we're gonna get here is great. It's an initial setup that really, really works well here. It really, I'm sorry by saying really, but it intrigues you enough to understand exactly the premise of what this movie is about. It's about just a very simple game about hitting different floors on an elevator, and then something supernatural happens, and if you look at it, it's gonna take you and devour you or kill you. It's a very simple setup, very simple premise from the beginning. And off of the opening of the film, which I think is actually still the strongest part of the film, is this opening. It leaves the audience expecting more out of this film. Unfortunately, as the film goes on, as we get past the initial shock of the moment of what happens to the first character on screen, and as we get to know these kids who are running this online marketing outlet, and then we get Ryan come into play as someone new to their marketing outlet who has a ulterior motive to find out more information about his sister. It's where the film, it staggers a bit, because it gets into the teen CW drama-esque portions of the plot, which don't necessarily move much forward. But luckily, especially for anyone who loves horror, when it gets back on track is when we get back to the elevator game, and we get this different group of kids that play this elevator game, and then we get the repercussions of them playing the elevator game. From there on, this film is really, really good in the sense that it gives you exactly what you're expecting. This is not a film that is going to reinvent the wheel. This is not a film that's going to be wholly original to a lot of people. But what it is a very simple premise. It's named Elevator Game. What the film gives you is an elevator game. And once the elevator game's over, it morphs into, just to bring a familiar horror movie that people will be accustomed to, a Grudge or a Ring type of feel to it, as them playing this elevator game unleashes this being, this supernatural force that ends up just running through the rest of the cast in typical horror movie fashion. But luckily here, what we're left with is, in a relationship between Ryan and Chloe, it feels so authentic at times that it's able to elevate itself above the plot of this film, which is so simplistic that I think it could draw a lot of people out of it. Again, it's nothing original in this film, but what they do manage to show, the action set pieces here, the drama pieces here, they do it well enough to make this a very entertaining type of Saturday afternoon type of horror film to watch. It's one of those midday things that you can just see on television and be like, I can watch this, and it just breezes by. It's not overly gory, which is also, to me, a plus for this type of film. This film didn't need to be overly gory, and it's not overly gory. Granted, there is some in it, but it's not to the extent where it's going to take you out of the film. It's just enough to keep you intrigued on what this elevator game is and the history behind it, and that's just enough to keep you intrigued. And I think that was the key point of this film here. Rebekah does a great job of shooting this film. It does a great job, again, with Shudder. You come in understanding these aren't big budget films, but what you ask them to do is perfect what they can with the budget that they have, and Rebekah does a great job at coming close to perfecting exactly what you would expect out of this movie. This is a quick romp. It's not a long film. It does not overstay its welcome, which I also think is an amazing element of this film. The score of it I thoroughly enjoyed, and that's kind of odd to say with Shudder films these days, because normally the score tends to be the weak part of a lot of Shudder films, but it's not here. It really, really works well to just amp up the dramatic elements, the horror elements of this film with a score that matches it. So, Elevator Game, brought to you from Shudder. It drops this Friday on Shudder, so you can check it out this Friday on Shudder. Out of a possible 10, I'm going to give Elevator Game a 6.5 out of 10. It is far from a perfect film, but what you get out of it is the premise, and that's all you can really ask for here. I don't think anyone came into a film named Elevator Game and expected a groundbreaking horror film. This is a throwback to the early mid 2000s type of horror films where kind of the title told you exactly what you were going to get, and you just had to hope that the director and the production didn't get in their way of it. And this is a film I can say they don't get in their way of it. Granted, it could have been things that could have been done better here. There are performances that could have been done better. There's setups that could have been done better. But in the end, I think you're going to leave thoroughly satisfied because it gives you exactly what it promised to give you, which is horror and elevator games. So check it out. Let us know what you think. This has been another JVS movie review. Peace, people.